What's going on, my friends? Welcome to episode 69 of Get Out Podcast, bringing you the hot takes, latest stories, and spicy picks on New York, New Jersey, Philadelphia, national, and international sports. Hosted by yours truly, and Grassani. Join us on by Mike Cunningham, Alex Reich, and Marcellus Murdock. You can listen to the podcast right now on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at GetYourGameOnP. And with all that said, it's time to get your game on. Yo, guys, it's episode 69. Wow.
69.
I'm tempted to make a horny joke, but I'm not going to.
Let me do it. I just had 69.
Damn.
Mike, you're a freak.
All right, guys, you guys want to jump right in because we've got a lot to discuss and little time to do it. We have sources to discuss. We may have to cancel Mike's hot take for this episode. That's how much we have to discuss. Don't worry, Michael. We're not going to.
I was about to strangle your ass.
All right, but like I said, we got a lot to discuss in little time to do it. Let's jump right in, guys. The Giants have a new head coach.
God bloody time.
The Giants have hired Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator Brian Daboll as their next head coach. And throughout this whole coaching process, it ultimately came down to two candidates. Number one, the first candidate was Brian Daboll was obviously one of them, and the other candidate was heavily rumored was Brian Flores. And I would have been happy with either of them because on the upside with Brian Flores, you are getting more coaching experience. You are getting more coaching experience, with we see the job he's done in Miami. But there are some question marks, like his relationship with Tua, how you're got to get the right offensive coordinator. There were some question marks about Brian Flores. Not saying he would have been a bad hire. He was 1B to me behind Brian Daboll, but Flores was a really solid candidate. And Brian Daboll, the offensive resume, the way he helped develop Josh Allen, and all the work he's done, in Buffalo, similar to Joe Schoen. Both Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll both came from the Buffalo, when you see you see how they become one of the best teams in the AFC, if not the NFL, over the past couple of years. And Brian Daboll, has a really great offensive mind. Sean McDermott worked under Sean McDermott. So Brian Daboll has a really great resume, but unlike Brian Flores, he doesn't have the coaching experience that Brian Flores has. He's never been a head coach before. This is his first head coaching gig. I've heard, and I've said before on this podcast that I prefer to that I would prefer someone with head coaching candidates. Because you look at the previous guys they hired, Pat Shermer, I believe. Wait, did Pat Shermer have head coaching experience before he got the Giants job? I'm not sure. I mean, I'll double check. I want to know. But I know Joe Judge was the first time head coach. I know Ben McAdoo was the first time head coach. So there was part of me that he was the head. So Pat Shermer was the head coach in 2011, 2012 for the Cleveland Browns. So I correct myself there, but. So I kind of wanted the Giants to get a guy with a quality resume who's had success as a head coach before, but at the same time, that should not devalue Brian Daboll as a candidate. We see the resume he has with when you see look at the resume he has. I've heard a lot of people compare this hire. I didn't hear any people compare it, but. I heard someone say that some fans might make the analogy to Pat Shermer. I think that's a completely unfair comparison to Brian Daboll, because Brian Daboll's resume is stronger, that I would say, than Pat Shermer's versus the Giants are. And look, I'm not saying that Brian Daboll's necessarily going to pan out of the Giants. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but when you look at Brian Daboll's resume and you look at his relationship with Joe Schoen, personally, I am very happy with Brian Daboll as the Giants' next head coach. I got more to say, but I want to open the floor to you guys.
What What team did he coach before? I forget.
Who? Pat Shimmer? Or you mean or Daboll?
Yeah, Daboll.
Brian, I really forgot. I should have mentioned this earlier. Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. Thank you for correcting me there, Alex.
Yep.
I kind of have a brain fart there.
I mean, I don't know too much about the guy, so I really don't know what the expectations are. But I mean, it sounds like they want to keep rolling with Daniel Jones. So, I mean, as a Giants fan, you just gotta hope that Jones can finally get it on board. I mean, I honestly thought you guys should have tried to get a better quarterback, but they already said they're not going for Watson no more.
Yeah. They held that press conference the Giants held a press conference the other day. John Mara spoke and Joe Shane spoke and Joe Shane, and that I was going to talk about that, but I'm glad you brought that one. So it's one of the things that they is that John Mara shut down any idea of training for Deshaun Watson. And yeah. I personally I can't blame him with all the allegations that are surrounding him. Like you've heard before, like unless those get cleared, I want no part of Deshaun Watson. Like you've heard me say that before, so I'm not going to reiterate that. And I will say though, I do also feel like that is part of the reason why the Giants wanted chose Daboll over Flores, because we all know that Flores wanted that Flores wants to coach Deshaun Watson, and with the Giants not wanting and with the Giants with the way you say they're not being interested in Deshaun Watson, they knew that Flores was going to make first round and the Giants didn't want that, so they decided to go with Daboll instead, which again, that's a decision I 100% respect. But
I mean, like I said, I don't know too much about him. I mean, he's the offensive coordinator, so hopefully,
And he was the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, and yesterday he helped develop Josh Allen. Marcellus, I'm glad you brought that up because when you look at Josh Allen, let me ask you, Marcellus, was Josh Allen the greatest quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL his rookie season? He was terrible his rookie season.
Terrible.
It wasn't really much better in the second half either. And I remember coming out of college, you heard me say I was not a fan of Josh Allen. I thought he was very inaccurate. I didn't think his game would translate to the NFL level, and he proved me wrong. I said before, he proved me wrong. But when you look at how raw Josh Allen was coming out of college and how much he's developed, you've got to give Brian Daboll a lot of credit for that. You gotta assume that Brian Daboll had something to do with it.
Absolutely. I definitely think so. That's why I find it interesting because, I mean, Daniel Jones, he definitely has the tools. I mean, he's a mobile running quarterback. He runs, which is good.
Michael, let Marcellus finish, then you can go.
I was just gonna say, he has the rushing ability in him. I mean, he's not a terrible quarterback. I mean, it's not really his fault. I mean, the offensive line doesn't really give him too much room to work with. Not a lot of time. So, I mean, really it's a lot. It's kind of hard under pressure. For a lot of quarterbacks when when they're not getting as much time as they need. So hopefully, the coach is able to, make the right adjustments for that.
I mean, here's the nicest thing I can say about Daniel Jones. He's a legit he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. For example, you're not gonna find 32 quarterbacks in the NFL, in my opinion, better than Daniel Jones. So he is capable of being a starter. But here's the thing with Daniel Jones. Is he going to be the guy that elevates your franchise?
I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. But I mean, you never know. Anything can happen. And
let's say Daniel Jones is not going to be what would you say Daniel Jones' best case scenario? What do you just think Daniel Jones' ceiling is? Jimmy Garoppolo? Like
Nah.
if Jimmy Garoppolo is like what Daniel Jones' ceiling is, we saw how like we see a lot of Jimmy G. If that's Daniel Jones' best case scenario, then the Giants have a problem.
First of all, can I say something real quick? And the black man say something?
Go ahead.
I think Daniel Jones could be a great quarterback. He has a chance to. You know what I mean? He may have a chance, but however, I don't think Jimmy G could be a great quarterback. I don't know. He's been leading his team, to the NFC Championship game, so he can't be that bad. And I said for years, Jimmy G was a terrible, terrible, terrible quarterback. But he proves us wrong every year.
Jimmy G's a solid quarterback, don't get me wrong, but is he the reason like the 49ers are winning games? No, he's not.
He's probably 50% of the reason. I know it's
I don't think he's 50% of the reason.
He has to. He's throwing the ball and they're scoring too. So in the defense. So
even then, you gotta give the 49ers special teams a lot of credit. You gotta give the 49ers defense a lot of credit. Like they're the reasons why the 49ers have won games. Like Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't played I'm not saying Jimmy Garoppolo has necessarily played bad, but he's not the reason like they're winning games. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, getting back to Joe Shane did host his press conference the other day. I haven't finished watching it, but I did really like a lot of what he had to say. I mean, again, we mentioned. He mentioned before that one of the things that he really interests me is that the big takeaway is that I got from there is that he also said that with the way he spoke about Daniel Jones, he did speak really positively about Daniel Jones. So when it comes to what they're gonna do at quarterback, in the sense I got myself, like since you asked about Daniel Jones, the sense I got is I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna use they're gonna use the 5th and 7th pick to build up the offensive line, build up the defense, and really try to help out this roster. I think this year is gonna be kind of like a retooling year, and they're gonna roll and they're gonna try to give Daniel Jones like more. They're gonna try to give Daniel Jones one more shot, and then if he like doesn't take advantage of it, I think they'll draft a quarterback in 2023. And a much better quarterback, guys, whether it's Bryce Young or who's the guy from Ohio State again? CJ Stroud, I believe. Yes, it's CJ Stroud. So we got CJ Stroud and Bryce Young likely coming out of the draft next year. So what I think they're gonna do is they're gonna run out with Daniel Jones one more year as kind of like a stopgap, and I think they'll ultimately like draft a quarterback in 2023, which I don't necessarily hate that plan, guys, but if that is indeed the plan, but here's the problem is that the Giants, like, they can't be banking on Daniel Jones, like, to prove himself next year. Like, the Giants can't necessarily bank on Daniel Jones, like, to, like, beat their, like, future, like, at this point, because, like I said before, he hasn't been bad, but he hasn't shown you anything special either. So, the Giants can't go, like, into the future saying, oh, Daniel Jones is definitely our guy. So, they have to kind of, assume that, that they're going to draft the quarterback in 2023, and what if like they aren't picking high enough to draft one of those guys, Bryce Young or CJ Abrams, and what if they're not picking high enough? Now you could say, oh, they could just trade up, and I don't necessarily hate the idea, but there are a lot of teams right now that need a quarterback, like Alex, for example. Let's say a Giants plan to trade up in 2023. Let's say that's their plan. What if Houston and the Lions are picking 1 and 2? You're not going to be able to trade up.
Nope.
So this is why, like, in terms of what they do at quarterback, I am leaning to. I do want them to try and make a trade for Russell Wilson. I'm not necessarily saying they need to break the bank on it, but I do think they should need to make a trade for Russell Wilson, because if you make a trade for Russell Wilson, you have the quarterback position solid for at least, in my opinion, the next 3 years, if not 5. I think Russell Wilson has a good 3 to 5 years of his prime left in him. I know some people will disagree with me on that, but that's just how I feel. And if you can get the most important position solved up, then I think you do it. Because let's say the alternative, guys. Let's say they don't make a trade for Russell Wilson. What are the alternatives? A, you either run back with Daniel Jones, or B, you plan to draft a quarterback in 2030, even though there's a chance you might not be able to get a quarterback. Or 3, which is an option I proposed last time, is that you draft a quarterback with either the 5th or 7th pick. Which I don't necessarily hate the idea, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are saying this is a weak quarterback class, but my rebuttal to that would be, if you fall in love with the quarterback, you have to draft them. If the Giants come away really impressed with Kenny Pickett or Willis or one of these guys, then I feel like they ultimately have to draft them. And there are also some other options. I also had another other option, guys. Let's say they bring back Daniel Jones and they draft the guy in the 2nd or 3rd round. They take a shot on a guy in the 2nd or 3rd round. I don't necessarily hate that idea. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't hate the idea either.
You got a good plan, amigo.
So I think that's what I would do. I think either I would either A, make the trade for Russell Wilson, or B, stick with Dan Jones, draft a quarterback in one of the later rounds to give him some competition and then see what you got. And if worst case scenario, you try to draft a quarterback in next year's draft.
Well, I don't think that's a good idea to draft a quarterback in this draft class. It's a weak draft class.
I'm not saying this. I'm not saying you have to spend a high pick on him. I wouldn't spend a high pick. I'm not saying you have to pay the 5th or 6th pick, but would you take a chance on a guy in the 2nd round or the 3rd round?
Yeah, but you
got nothing to lose. Why not?
Here's the thing for the Giants. I think you already have this confidence in Daniel Jones already. I think he's not a bad quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He's not Eli Manning material. But
here's the thing though. We've seen these playoffs that this year we've seen the NFL is, it's a quarterback driven league. If you don't have at the very least a top half of the league quarterback, then you're probably not gonna. Then you're probably not gonna make the playoffs. Let me go through. Let's put it this way, guys. Let's go through all the playoff teams this year. Let's go through all teams that made the playoffs, and you tell me if each of these quarterbacks is a top half of the league guy. Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, definitely top half of the league. You guys agree?
Yeah.
All right, so that's one. Yep. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady, definitely top half of the league. Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford, definitely top half of the league. So we're 3-3 right there. Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, he's not amazing, but I think we all could agree he's still top half of the league. So that's 4 right there. San Francisco 49ers, Jimmy G's not a top half of the league guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but he's doing something all right if he's in the playoffs.
He's not a top half of the league guy. I'm sorry.
Adam, he's playing great football right now.
He's not playing bad football, but are they winning games because of him? We'll save this debate another time because I don't want to start an argument with my friend Michael Cunningham here.
I'm not even a fan of Jimmy. I just think he's a good quarterback.
I think he's good, but he's not top half of the league.
The thing,
I never say he was bad.
There is no bad quarterback in the NFL. If you in the NFL and you're a quarterback, you did something.
Okay, you're being very, very Captain Literal, man, there, Michael. Sorry to rip off Michael K show there, but I got to that's okay. But we
don't Michael K me, you son of a bitch.
Okay. Okay, another guy in the AFC. Dak Prescott, definitely top half of the league.
Brady.
And we already mentioned Brady. And the last team, Philadelphia Eagles. Alex, even you would agree, Jalen Hurts is not top half of the league guy, right?
No.
At least not right now. So
Alex
in the
finally
AFC alone, five of the seven teams have top half of the league quarterbacks. Let's go on to the AFC. Patrick Mahomes, definitely top half of the league. Derek Carr, I would say he's top half of the league. I don't know if you guys disagree, but I think Derek Carr's top half of the league.
No, not anymore. Not anymore. But
I mean, we'll put. I mean, I'm voting yes. Like you're voting no. I mean, Alex, Marcellus, you guys want to be the tiebreaker? Do you think Derek Carr's top half of the league?
Who's top half of the league?
Derek Carr.
Yeah, I respect Derek Carr.
Okay. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think he's
so majority rules Derek Carr's top half of the league.
If you ask any
Tennessee Titans, I mean Ryan Tannehill's not top half of the league. I'm sorry.
The only reason why I said that for Derek Carr is my boy Matt, who is a huge Raider fan, so I had to just say that to piss him off.
Okay. I respect that, Michael. I respect that. But moving on. Cincinnati Bengals, I definitely think Joe Burrow's top half of the league.
He's the future of the NFL.
So he's definitely top half of the league. We all could agree there. Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger at that point in his career was not top half of the league guy. At that point in his career, no.
Big Ben, he's just a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer, but we can all agree that at the end of this year he was like kind of washed.
He's done.
Yeah. We can all agree. So this year, Ben Roethlisberger not top half of the league. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen is definitely top half of the league. We all can agree there. I think
he's the best quarterback. I think he's like the top 3 best quarterbacks in the league.
I don't know about top 3, but I definitely think he's up there. We could have.
He's in the top 5 in any order.
Top 5, I think he's top 5. I don't know. I'll have to think about it because there's a lot of great quarterbacks in the NFL, but I hear what you're saying. I'm not disrespecting Josh Allen at all. New England Patriots. I don't know if Mac Jones is top half of the league yet.
Give him time. I'm a fan of Mac Jones. He
could be going forward, but I don't know if he's top half. Hold on, let me look up some numbers here. Is Mac Jones?
You know you can't read.
Do you have to be so disrespectful, Mike Cunningham?
Hey, you were in a Pokemon shirt from 2000, so I may have to.
It's a 25th anniversary for sure, and how dare you disrespect Pokemon? I'm going to put you in the waiting room just for that. I'm still thinking, but I mean, Alex, do you think Mac Jones is top half of the league?
I don't
think
think
so. Quarterback.
I don't think so.
I think he's borderline. So we'll I don't want to waste so much time, so we'll just throw Mac Jones as like up in the air. So, but we've established like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 9, if not 10. So 9 to 10 teams in the league have like a top half of the league quarterbacks. Only 4 of them don't. So the Giants can't plan on, we're gonna go the 49ers route, we're gonna go the Tennessee Titans route, and we're gonna have like a not top half of the league quarterback, and we'll just build around anyone else. That can't be like that can't be like their plan A. It could be their plan B, but it can't be their plan A. Because more often than not, you need a top half of the league guy if you're going to compete in today's NFL. But overall, like I was very happy with what I saw from the Joe Shane press conference from what I watched. I'm going to watch the rest of it later on. So once I finish watching, I may or may not have updated thoughts on our next episode if we have time. But overall, I really like what I have to say. I'm very happy with the Brian Daboll hire. So that's pretty much all. That's pretty much all the Giants talk we have for now. Before we get to Mike's hot take, I did want to really quickly mention this one story. It involves my Brooklyn Nets. Did you guys hear all these James Harden rumors?
Yep.
Yeah. So apparently James Harden is not happy in Brooklyn, and he's.
Let me please explain that theory.
Go ahead, Michael.
Here's the thing why he's not happy in Brooklyn. You were agreeing. This is I heard Kendrick Perkins and Richard Jefferson and JJ Redick were talking this. And I'll let you can testify because we watched this NBA today. NBA Talk. It's on ESPN. You remember that, Alex? They had that episode, right?
Yep.
And they were saying, no, here's the thing. You get KD, you get Kyrie to go to Brooklyn. KD wants James Harden to play with him. That was a request. Am I right? Adam, you're the Nets expert, so I want your opinion on this too. You get James Harden to come to the Nets. And Adam, when I told you that the Nets got James Harden, Adam was not a big fan. Our own
you had to bring that up, didn't you?
He was not a fan.
You had to bring that up, all right?
Let's just say I was a little pissed.
Go ahead, Michael. Adam, I don't like that, but continue.
You know I had to approve. You know I had to get you with that.
Here's got me with that, all right? Now continue.
The thing is, you get James Harden, and then the NBA, the NBA new rule, you have to be vaccinated to be in the league, baby. You know that.
Yeah, that was one of the things. Apparently, two of the things why he doesn't. I don't think that's the report necessarily say he's planning to leave, but he has said that he will explore other options.
Only way.
And two of the reasons why, A, apparently he doesn't like living in Brooklyn, and B, he's like frustrated with Kyrie Irving being like not vaccinated. So I'll give Michael, I will give the floor back to you, but I did want to give my thoughts on this. Then
100%, baby.
Because here's the thing. Here's my big takeaway. This is the definition of championship or bust this season for the Nets. Because this is the definition of championship or bust. Because if the Nets don't win a championship this year, and Harden leaves, they're gonna be in real big trouble. This is one of the reasons why I was actually against the Harden trade. Because if Harden leaves, then like Kyrie Irving's also a free agent. So what do you think Kyrie Irving's going to do with all this unvaccinated
stuff?
But no
team wants
Kyrie. He's going to leave
though.
too. And then Kevin Durant's going to request a trade. And then the Nets are going to be right back where they started. So
here's the thing, though.
The Nets are in trouble right now, guys. I'll admit, as a Nets fan, I'm very, very nervous. I'm very nervous. So this is the definition of championship.
Here's the thing, though, Adam. Here's the thing. Even if the Nets win the championship, James Harden and Kyrie Irving are not. I'm going to say this on record. They're leaving Brooklyn. Even if they win the championship, they're leaving Brooklyn.
But here's the thing, though. Even if they do leave Brooklyn after the season, it will have been worth it if they win the title.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But now you have other players that are free agents. You got Kawhi, that's a free agent this year. You got Paul George. LeBron's a free agent at the end of this year.
LeBron's a free agent? I doubt that. I doubt that.
He's a free agent.
And even if he is, I don't think he's coming here.
Here's the thing. On record, he did say
LeBron would never team up with KD. I'm not saying that LeBron has any beef with KD, but that would just like
KD. LeBron said it on record, I want to play with Kevin Durant. He said it on record.
He did?
Yeah. 4 years ago. He said it on record. I want to play with Kevin Durant. You didn't know that? Every NBA fan knew that.
Oh, I mean, I'm just looking at the perspective of like.
I think that will work. I'm telling you, if those
LeBron's a free agent after 2023, not until 2023.
Wait, he was in the class with Kawhi though, so
he's not a free agent because he signed a 2-year extension. Like last
if he did sign a 2-year extension, I think. For the Nets,
so he's a free agent after 2023. Let me check out Kawhi.
I know Kawhi season's up because he didn't sign. He signed a 3-year deal, and that was in 2020.
Kawhi's not a free agent either.
All right. Point is,
Michael, you just got 2 free agencies wrong. Do your research, Michael Cunningham. But you mentioned for I think
my brain is right there because if you had some good delay, you probably would be not.
Okay. I understand. We all make mistakes, but I'm just trying to call you out there. Go ahead, Michael.
All joking aside, I believe that the Nets. This is break or bust. Adam, Who are you? Here's the thing: can you go through the draft this year and play through the draft and get a start pick?
No.
Even though this is probably a great draft class coming up, you have Pablo Banchero, who is probably the best player in the NCAA right now, and Marcellus Murdock, a fellow Duke native, fellow Duke Blue Devil. Amen to that, Marcellus.
Let's
You
go,
could
Devil.
or you can go with my main man Zach Fremantle, the best player in the Big East. My man Zach Fremantle, who will be on our show in a couple of weeks because I can get him on. He plays for the University of Xavier, who is better than Eric Dixon all the way. No offense, Alex. Well, all seriousness, Adam, you guys have a. You think Steve? I don't think if Steve Nash doesn't win this championship, Steve Nash is fired. They will fire Steve Nash. The Nets will fire him. You know what I mean?
I think if they don't win the title this year, I think Steve Nash is going to be gone.
Here's the thing. I don't think Steve Nash can win a championship. He's a one-way type of player. He does that 7 seconds or less offense. That's why he could have won a championship with Mike D'Antoni.
Michael, I've heard the Steve Nash take from you over and over again, and we're not going to waste any more time on it, but go ahead.
You can't win a championship with 7 seconds or less offense. You can't. It's all about defense in the NBA. Harden plays no fucking defense. Kevin Durant, Kyrie only plays defense in the fourth quarter.
Which is all you need in the NBA.
You have to play defense all 4 quarters.
But Kyrie really turns up defensively in clutch moments, and really if the rest of your defense is not too bad, then that's good enough.
James Harden plays no defense.
I'm with you on James Harden.
Alex is a better defender than James Harden. Marcellus,
Kevin Durant
player,
great defense.
Is better than Marcellus.
Let me tell you something. Kevin Durant is low-key a very underrated defender.
He's a great defender, underrated. And I'm going to say by my statement, Dennis Rodman is better than Draymond Green. There you go.
But basically, James Harden did respond to rumors. And long story short, you know what James Harden said?
What he said,
I
baby?
can neither confirm nor deny. That's basically what he said.
So he
said, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know no reports." So basically, what that means is that's what Harden's thinking now. He's basically
saying, if we win the championship, I'll stay. That's what he's saying.
Or if Kyrie Irving somehow or if this vaccination things are now, for all knows, maybe this vaccination thing with Kyrie does get sorted out, and Harden does get back and forth, and they both do sign a second. That's what I'm hoping for as a Nets fan. That should be what you're hoping for as a Nets fan. But
here's the thing.
But at this point, I will say this: with Kyrie Irving, the stuff that he's playing, I'm going to say this right now, guys. If the Nets don't win a championship and Kyrie Irving leaves and James Harden leaves, with all the stuff Kyrie Irving pulled, with him refuses to be vaccinated and stuff. If Kyrie Irving leaves after all this, he's going to become he's going to be up there with Darren Williams and Billy Cass, the most infamous heinous figures in franchise history.
So you are telling me that
if the Nets don't win a championship and both Kyrie Irving and James Harden leave, Kyrie Irving is going to become one of the most hated figures in Nets history.
The most hated figure in Nets history is probably Kerry Kittles, but we ain't going to talk about that.
I said one of the most, not the most.
The most hated player in Nets history.
Because after all of this, if Kyrie Irving really not, because let's think about this right now. If Kyrie Irving not getting vaccinated is ultimately a difference between James Harden staying and James Harden leaving, Nets fans, long story short, they're not going to be happy, and they're never going to forgive him. That's all that. It's if all Kyrie Irving had to do was just get the COVID vaccine for James Harden to stay, if that's actually the case and he doesn't do it, then Nets fans would have every right to be furious at Kyrie. They would have every right to be furious.
They'll trade. They're going to trade Kyrie just, to prove a point.
And I heard some rumors about the Nets potentially trading James Harden for Ben Simmons, but I believe Steve Nash came out and said that that's not happening. The Nets basically squashed all I don't know if it was Steve Nash said, but hold on, let me say who said it. Yeah, no one actually said, but it was reported that it was reported that the Nets aren't like interested in trading James Harden. They're not going to trade him. So if you're thinking like, oh, maybe the Nets could trade James Harden for Philly for Ben Simmons, like that's off the table. Nets aren't trading James Harden. But yeah, as a Nets fan right now, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. I'd be lying if I say I wasn't nervous. So hopefully then they change and the Nets win the title and Kyrie Irving and James Harden sign extensions and we have a happy ever and then we Nets fans will forever live happy ever after. But hopefully that's gonna be the case. But right now it's not looking good in Nets world. It's not looking good in Nets world. But we gotta move on right now to the segment of the show. What pun am I gonna use today? Oh, I got one. The segment of the show that is like Pokemon Legends Arceus. Mike's hot take. Mike, kind of take it away.
You know something, players? My hot take for the day is, show of hands. Who knows? Raise your hand if you know who my favorite basketball player is of all time. I said it numerous of times on this podcast. Kobe Bean Bryant. Let's put some I am happy.
Oh man, yeah.
That they
for those who don't know, the other day it was the second anniversary of the tragic passing of Kobe and Vanessa Bryant, I believe.
Vanessa. Get it right, bitch.
Vanessa Bryant. I'm sorry.
Vanessa, fuck you. Kobe, I'm a big fan of you. Heart Adam Grassani. That will be great. Don't heart me. I've been a big fan of yours, Kobe, for many years. But everybody knows I know it was 2 years is hard. I was in Costa Rica with me and my brother and my parents in Costa Rica. Me and my brother and his girlfriend were in the hot tub. I will never forget that day. My brother was like, yo, what happened? We were getting drinks at the bar. All inclusive resort, all adult. He's like, what? Kobe died. I'm like, nigga, shut the fuck up. He ain't dead. What are you talking about? And then I was like, you know what? I looked it up. I was like, nah, TMZ. Then Alex texted me. And I'm like, holy shit, this is starting to get real.
Oh, hold on. It was
Adam, can you not interrupt?
Jania Bryant. Gianna Bryant. I'm sorry.
Adam,
sorry, guys.
Shut up.
Okay. I just want to make sure Vanessa is Danielle Kobe Bryant's wife. So I just want to make sure we get all the facts straight. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let's go ahead.
For the love of God, shut up. Man, I'm trying to be calm. And I remember I was crying my eyes out. And then I remember no parent should bury their child, boys. And I know we get serious. I know I like to make jokes and shit. No parent should bury their child. Can we agree to that? No parent should bury no child.
100% agree. 100% agree.
No parent should bury their child. Vanessa Bryant has been through a lot. You lost your husband and your daughter in the same day on the same flight on a death. That's nothing that woman has gone through that we can all go through. She is in major pain. You buried the love of your life and your daughter on the same day. But here's the rule: they never ever made a pact that they'll never be on a helicopter for that reason. If one of them went, the other one stayed. You know, they never went on the helicopter together. And my uncle, who was from Philadelphia, one of my dad's best friends, knew the Kobe Bryant family well. And I met Kobe twice in my life. When I was a kid, there's a picture with me and Kobe Bryant. And here's the thing, I loved Kobe. He was like it was God, Kobe, Jesus, Kobe. Kobe was like my Jesus Christ. I know that's kind of weird. I was obsessed. When I was a kid, I had to wear number 8. I had to be 24, or I was number 23 and number 3. Those are the 4 numbers I wore for basketball. And it's just hard. Man, like, I worshiped him. I have pictures of him on my wall. I never cried on this podcast, but I went through a lot of shit. I lost my younger brother. I lost my best friend. and the death, but losing Kobe is probably the hardest thing I had to do. It's just hard seeing your idol, the man you worship growing up. And it's just, I just want to say, Kobe Bean Bryant, I thank you for making a small kid from New Jersey who was uncoordinated at the time watching you fell in love with the game of basketball. I appreciate you for making me fall in love with the game and make me fall in love with my life. But we ain't going to talk about that either. But I'm happy that you changed 4 kids, 6 men that made a podcast called Get Your Game On Feed because you're the main reason why I wanted to do a podcast. So Kobe, from bottom of my heart, thank you for making me fall in love with the game of basketball.
Yeah, Michael, very well said. I think Kobe Bryant. We talk about this off the air. Kobe Bryant's passing, like it's one of the things you're gonna remember where you were when Kobe Bryant passed. It's one of those
100%. I was crying my eyes out.
I remember I was at home. Alex, do you remember where you were?
I was at a friend's house on campus.
Marcellus, where were you?
I was at work actually when I seen it happen.
Oh wow! And I remember I first got the report. You know what my first thought was? I think you all probably had like a similar thought. TMZ got hacked.
I was like, this is some bullshit. I was like,
when I got the text, I was like, there's no way. And I thought
I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, this can't be real. This can't be fucking real. When I saw it, I told my brother, I am 3 seconds away from beating the crap out of you. This is fucked up, not a joke.
Not the type to get sentimental on an episode, but I had to tell him I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I had to tell him. Tears started rolling down. That was sad.
Tears. That's one of me and Marcellus' favorite players.
One of the reasons why I was watching basketball, man. I grew up watching the Fro Kobe.
Yeah, man, I cried my eyes out.
Kobe and
I told my mom, I'm going to my room. I drank heavily and I cried my eyes out. You know what I'm saying? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Like,
let me say something real quick. Hug your loved ones, hug your friends, joke around with your friends, love your family, love your friends too. Because at the end, you don't know how long you're gonna be there.
Yep.
And I know we all piss each other off. We always do jokes and razz each other. That's how we are. And I know I don't say this enough, but I love all you guys, and I will not want anything to happen to none of you. You know, because I think.
So the same
At
way.
the end of the day, we got each other.
Amen. Amen.
So the same way.
Like, y'all my family since day one, you know. Myself is actually since day one, but you two since day one as well. So, you know. Alex, if you start laughing, I'm smacking the shit out of you. You're gonna make I'm turning into a female right now. Well, all seriousness. Yo, let's get a shout out to Kobe one time.
Cool. Yeah, I mean it's
at guard. From Laura Marion High School, number 24, number 6, 6'6", Kobe Bryant. Well, let me ask you guys all a question. What was your favorite all-time Kobe play?
Favorite all-time Kobe play?
I got too many. Count.
I mean,
we scored 81.
We scored 81 for life.
My favorite was when he scored 16 in his final game. That's my favorite.
First of all, I was at that game, boys. I was at
that game. Actually, I think you told me before that you were at that game. I must have forgot.
I was crying. I was so happy. I was like, and I was supposed to be at TC, and I told my teacher, I'm like, my boy got me tickets from now. He's like, you want to go to Kobe's last game? I'm like, nigga, shut the fuck up. You lying. You lying. All right, and I went and saw that game, and that's the end of my hot take, boys, because you know I gotta watch some Netflix. So let's wrap it up.
Okay, but do we even need to debate on this one, guys? Approve. Alex, just say it. Just say it.
Approve.
Marcellus, say it.
Yeah, approve.
We don't even need to, need to do that. Automatic approve. We even need to do that. But yeah.
That's an automatic approval.
But rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. He was just.
If
I
we
think the best way to put it is
disapproved,
remember how this generation, this current generation, looks up to LeBron-James. That's how the previous generation looked up to Kobe. Like he was the face of the game for a long time. And he's gonna go down as like not only one of the best players to ever play a game, but one of the faces of basketball. And so definitely rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to his daughter Gianna too. Rest in peace to his daughter Gianna too. Like I said, Michael, no parent should ever have to bury their child. And honestly, we also do want to give mention all the other victims of like the helicopter crash. So definitely don't want to ignore them. So many people lost their life that day. So rest in peace, Kobe. Rest in peace, Yana, and rest in peace to all the members or all the families like that were affected by that tragic accident. All right, guys, we're gonna lighten up the mood on this podcast here a little bit. Well, I feel like we're gonna change the mood from somber to angry, because guys, you know what
I got a lot of things to say.
You know what, Michael? Do you know what I'm mad about?
About Barry Bonds not being in the fucking Hall of Fame.
Not just Barry Bonds not being in the Hall of Fame. For those who don't know, the Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2022 was just released, and there was only one member who got in.
Adam, please don't make me talk about this.
The only member that got in was David Ortiz. I'm going to let you talk about this, Michael, but let me just say off that point. This is no disrespect at all to David Ortiz, the Big Papi. David Ortiz, deserved to get in. He was a really clutch player, 3-time World Series champion with the Red Sox.
But that nigga was on steroids.
Let me finish. Michael post up really great numbers. He's a Hall of Famer, no doubt in my mind. He's deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. But they immediately left that he tested positive for PEDs. They conveniently forgot about that. The baseball Rays conveniently forgot about it and got first spot. Now, why am I bringing this up? People be thinking, oh, Adam, PED use. There are other PED users in the Hall of Fame. Why should Barry Bonds not get in because he used PEDs? I'm glad you asked that, my friend. I'm glad you asked that. Because Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, and arguably, without a doubt, top 3 hitter of all time, or top 3 position player of all time, both of them don't get in. It was the last spot for both of them, and neither of them got in. And the fact that those two guys got in, despite that David Ortiz got in, despite his PED history, and Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens because of PEDs, it just proves how broken the Hall of Fame voting system is. Honestly, in my opinion, I've been a fan. I've always followed the Baseball Hall of Fame voting for years, and I will continue to follow it because I also am a huge baseball fan. But in my opinion, the Baseball Rays lost a ton of credibility with this latest ballot. They lost a ton of credibility.
First of all, I'm mad at the Baseball Hall of Fame right now because Barry Bonds, who was probably the greatest, one of the top 2 greatest baseball players, and him and Willie Mays are the 2 greatest baseball players of all time. And Barry Bonds
Babe was up there. Baby was up there. Hank Aaron's
also up there.
But I get what you're saying.
Barry Bonds, probably the greatest baseball player to ever live, probably to play the game of baseball. Is not in the Hall of Fame. What's next? Michael Jordan, they're going to take Michael Jordan after being in the Hall of Fame for being too damn good. What the fuck is wrong with with MLB? Cooperstown. If you really want to make money and stay relevant, put fucking Barry Lamar Bonds in the fucking Hall of Fame and put the ace, the Rocket, Roger Clemens in the fucking Hall of Fame. It's not fucking hard. Stop smoking weed at it, because I know half y'all doing some weed and doing cocaine and crack, for the love of God. On my mama, I'm about to smack y'all. For the love of God, do the job. Put him in the Hall of Fame. I'm done.
But Michael, here's the thing, Michael. whatever you think about PEDs being Hall of Fame, whatever your opinion is, should PEDs be in Hall of Fame or they should not be in the Hall of Fame? Like, whatever side of the argument you're on, the one thing both sides can agree on is that we want consistency. There should be consistency. And the fact that, Michael, you know, David Ortiz is a stud, right? We all can agree about that. Is David Ortiz in the same stratosphere as Barry Bonds?
Absolutely, they're in the same stratosphere.
I mean, maybe that's the wrong one, but let me rephrase. Who's better, Barry Bonds or David Ortiz? Barry Bonds by a country mile. By a country mile. That's no disrespect to David Ortiz. That's no disrespect for David Ortiz, but Barry Bonds is clearly the better player. Clearly.
Barry Bonds was probably one of the fastest baseball players for a minute before he took steroids. He was an all-around player. He could steal, run, catch. Probably the best left-handed hitter in MLB history.
So you're going to keep him out, but you're going to let David Ortiz in. You want to know why, guys? It's because everyone loves David Ortiz. David Ortiz is so likable. He's loved, even us Yankee fans. I'm a Yankee fan, and I love Big Papi. Michael, you're a Yankee fan. I'm assuming you like Big Papi.
I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth? Okay.
And I'm trying to be polite. I would never.
But David Ortiz is very liked around baseball. David Ortiz is very liked around baseball, so that's why I get it. And Barry Bonds was not well liked around baseball. He got the fights with reporters. A lot of media didn't like him. So this is what this is all about, guys. The baseball artists decide, we like David Ortiz and we don't like Big Papi. So we're gonna use PEDs as a reason to keep Barry Bonds out and Raj goes out because we don't like them. That's all it is. And there are people like saying, David Ortiz, like there's been like false positives for PEDs before. Do you know how hard it is to test positive for PEDs in the first place? You know how hard it is to test positive for PEDs in the first place? So that's number one. And number two, I don't know if Barry Bonds went to trial, but Roger Clemens went to court like for his PED accusations and won. Roger Clemens won his court case, so you're going to use false positives as a reason to discredit David Ortiz's PED positive test, but you're not going to allow Roger Clemens who won his court case again. It's a joke. I mean, Alex, Marcellus, what do you guys think?
I don't think it's a joke.
I mean,
you don't think it's a joke, Marcellus? You want to expand why?
You're talking about Clemens, right?
We're talking about Bonds and Clemens not getting the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, no disrespect to Barry Bonds and Clemens, but once the steroid use comes into play, then you really start to question where they really Hall of Fame material. That's
but here's number one: Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are still Hall of Fame material, even without the PEDs. That's number one. But number two, if that's the case, Marcellus, why did David Ortiz get in despite his PED history?
Yeah,
that's the point we're making. Like,
you're right.
I'm not necessarily mad at
but you have
Barry
to
Bonds and Marcellus Clemens not making it the Hall of Fame, as I am the hypocrisy, the blatant hypocrisy.
You have to look at the impact that Big Papi had overall.
And Barry Bonds did have a big impact. The Red Sox,
he did absolutely. But then, like I said, once that whole steroid thing came out, and then it really just started making a lot of people question if he really had those many home runs.
I hear what you're saying, Marcellus, but let me ask you this: Can I ask you this? Why is David Ortiz's PED history left off?
It shouldn't be. Man,
exactly.
Yeah,
that's my problem. That's my problem.
I agree. When you look at it that aspect, I agree.
Yeah. All right. Alex, go ahead.
I mean, I totally agree with what you said, Adam. I think it's kind of a joke that with the voting, and I think they definitely need to look into it for next year. And I just think that, I don't know, it's just hard to put in words.
Yeah, I mean, David Ortiz may have got 77.9% of votes his first ballot. Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. Barry Bonds got 66% of the vote, and Roger Clemens got 65% of the vote. So it was both their last years on the ballot. So they get let off. Sammy Sosa only got 18.5% of the vote, and this was also his last year ballot, so he's out. I will say though, Sammy Sosa not getting nearly as much votes as Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. Like, I think that's a bit hypocritical too. Yeah, because yes, Sammy Sosa did PEDs, but Sammy Sosa during his when he played, he was a clear-cut Hall of Famer. He was a clear-cut Hall of Famer. So if Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens did get in Sammy Sosa's thing, I think that would be a bit unfair too. Yes, Sammy Sosa also did the corked bat, so that stuff does come into play, but still, it's still kind of rubs your eye that Sammy Sosa didn't get that much vote. And another guy who's not getting a Hall of Fame, our arch nemesis Curt Schilling got only 58.6% of the vote, and this is his 10th year, and he's out.
That's good.
Yeah. Now, guys, I've talked about Curt Schilling in the past extensively because here's my opinion. Do I think Curt Schilling, when he played, in terms of his play, is a Hall of Famer? Yes, I think looking at him on the field he is a Hall of Fame. He is a Hall of Famer, and if I had vote, I would vote for him because I personally, I know the rules say like, that the rules they do bring in character into the equation, but I personally think it's a joke that character is brought to equation personally. So I was still vote for sure because I do think in terms of his on the field play, he's a Hall of Famer. But do I have an ounce of sympathy that Curt Schilling didn't get into Hall of Fame? No, I don't. Because Curt Schilling, if you're listening to this, if you're listening to this, let's take a look at this, guys. Hold on for a second. Okay, Curt Schilling, if you're listening to this, last year you had 71.1% of the vote. You're, I believe, a handful of votes away from making it a Hall of Fame. This is despite all the terrible and awful things you said. You said journalists should be lynched. That was despicable. You said we compared Muslims to Nazis. That was despicable. But despite all that, all the racist, homophobic shit you've said, you still managed to get 71.1% of the vote. When the voting was going on last year. And when the going was going on last year, you were on the brink of getting away with all that and making it to the Hall of Fame. And know what you do? You not only support the rioters at our nation's capital, number one, but you also make a big fuss of going back and like starting this hissy fit with the rioters. So all you had to do, Curt Schilling, all you had to do was just lay off that one time, and you would have made it to the Hall of Fame. So, Curt Schilling, if you're listening to this, all I gotta say is congratulations, you played yourself. That's all I gotta say.
Fuck Curt Schilling for life.
I didn't hear anything wrong with what you said.
I'm probably gonna post that as a clip. I'm definitely posting that as a clip. But before we get to our bets, I did want to mention this really one quick hockey story here. You know Henrik Lundqvist, right?
Yeah.
His jersey was finally retired by the New York Rangers, and I'm a Devils fan, so you know me and the Rangers, we don't get along very well. Me and Rangers fans, we Devils and Rangers, we don't get along very well. But I do want to wish a very, very happy congratulations to Henrik Lundqvist. Like, like on getting his number retired. Very well deserved. I'm obviously like a Angel Legend, but more importantly, like he's definitely going to go down as definitely one of the best goalies like of his generation, and really an icon in like in New York City hockey. So his number 3 will be international retires. And Henrik Lundqvist, if you're listening, like even though I didn't like you like when you were on the ice, like you were still like a very like you were still like all class, and I really enjoyed like, and that's the Dallas, and we really enjoyed our battles with you. So congratulations, Hank, on getting your number retired. You deserved it. I mean, Alex, you want to go very quickly here?
I actually got to watch the game with the at my house at college, and it was very emotional seeing his family get together, and especially at the world's most famous arena, MSG. And I think the crowd enjoyed every second of it. And I just wish Henrik Lundqvist the best of luck with whatever comes next for him. And I think that he's leaving behind a big career with the New York Rangers, and it's just a big milestone for him to get his name up in the Raptors, and I'm just happy that he got the chance to do it.
I mean, Alex, you hit the nail on the head. I'm sure, like, as a flashlight, you could relate to me as a Devils fan, like, of our relationship of like, and that aspect. Like, the Rangers flashlight really isn't as big, but I know, Rangers and Flyers, that's still a pretty big rivalry, too.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we can both relate to that. I'll say as both of us, we enjoy competing against Henrik Lundqvist, and like we congratulate him against the retired. But we gotta move on, guys, to our bets of the episode. To recap last episode, guys, you know how many one of us won our bet? You want how many guys on this podcast won our bet?
Who?
Only one of us won our bet. You want to guess who it is?
Who?
I'll give you a hint. He's not on this episode. Chris is the only one to win his bet. He had give me a second here. He had Kansas over Texas Tech on the money line, and Illinois over Michigan on the money line too. So Kansas beat Texas, and Illinois beat Michigan State. So Chris won his bet. He had 10.29 points. But everyone else lost. Michael, you had the Warriors over the Mavericks on money line. Duke over Clemens on the money line. Knicks over Cavaliers on the money line. Cavaliers upset the Knicks, so that wrecks your parlay. I am sorry. Marcellus, you had the Suns over the Jazz on the spread, -9.5. Suns beat the Jazz, but they did not cover the spread. So, Marcellus, you got denied your points. Sam had the Pistons over the Nuggets on the money line and the Magic over the Clippers on the money line. I believe both his teams lost, so his parlay was wrecked. Alex had UCLA over Arizona on the money line and Mavericks over the Warriors on the money line. I believe the Warriors beat the Mavericks, so that wrecked his parlay. I don't know what happened with the UCLA Arizona game. I'm not sure, but I mean, you can look it up really quickly and mention it. But as far as my bet is concerned, I had the Nets over the Lakers on my line, and James Harden the over 28.5 points. James Harden now the over, but the Nets lost to the Lakers, so my parlay got wrecked. So, given the play, go ahead.
So number 7 ranked UCLA upset number 3 ranked Arizona.
Oh, so you won your bets. You would made some. I remember you would made some pretty big points on that bets, but unfortunately the Mavericks let you down. So too bad, so sad. To give you update on the standings, Michael, you remain our ringleader. You remain in first place, 30-38 record, 279.06 points. I remain in second place, 30-38 record, 351.65 points. Chris is in third place, 31-37 record, 328.04 points. Alex is in fourth place, 26 and 42 record, 306.38 points. Marcellus is in fifth place, 36 and 32 record, 283.00 points. And Sam reigns in last place, 29 and 39 record, 239.68 points. So we do have both Chris's bet and Sam's bet. Sam's taking Sam is once again going with the Magic and the Pistons in a parlay. Wow, guys. Do you guys have any thoughts? Like, he's once again taking the same exact teams. Wow. I mean, he must. I mean, I would say he must know something if it had worked, but it didn't work. So we'll see how it is. Chris's parlay is taking KU over Kentucky on the money line, and Kansas City on the money line versus Cincy, and Grizzlies on the money line over the Wizards. So guys, I'm gonna lead off here like I usually do, and I've been thinking about this one. and I decided it's my second to last chance to do a football bet. This is my second to last chance to do a football bet, so it would be remiss if I didn't do a football bet here. So I've got a very, very juicy same game parlay here for you guys. If I were to bet, this wouldn't necessarily put me ahead of Micah Cunningham, but it would definitely get me close. So I'm gonna do this, guys. I'm taking the Los Angeles Rams over the San Francisco 49ers on the spread 3.5, and I'm taking Odell Beckham Jr. on the over and receiving yards. The over under for Odell Beckham Jr. in the receiving yards is 54.5. With the way Odell Beckham Jr. has played this postseason, he's gonna smash that. And I definitely think the Stars are going to win the same, because I think they're just an overall better team. They're better offensively, they're better defensively. They have a way better quarterback in Matthew Stafford. Like, the Rams are just clearly the superior team. So I think they'll cover. The 49ers have been impressive so far, don't get me wrong, but I just think the Rams are a superior team. So I'm going to take the Rams over the 49ers on the spread and Odell Beckham Jr. on the over in the receiving yards. That is my bet. Who wants to go next? Alex, you usually follow me up here, so
Okay.
you can go.
I am going to do Nuggets. This is a parlay I'm going to do.
Okay.
So I'm going to start off with later today. I'm going to go with the Ole Miss money line against Kansas State, and Nuggets money line against the Bucks.
Okay. Gotcha. Who's Ole Miss playing again?
Kansas State.
All right, Kansas State.
Yeah.
You're not picking against Kansas. You're picking against Kansas State.
Yeah.
So Chris is going to be mad. Okay. All right, Marcellus, you're up next.
Take the Warriors money line over the Nets.
Is that game at that game's on the road, right?
Oh yeah, they're playing that Golden State.
Oh, okay. I honestly, Marcellus, I don't know about that one. If it was at Barclays, I would agree, but with it being on the road and the Nets play Grandor, they have Kyrie Irving. I don't know about that. And this is coming from as an objective bias. I'll be objective here as a Nets fan right now.
Should be a good game.
All right, it'll be a good game, but I'm just telling you, Marcellus, I don't know about that one. But okay, all right, Mr. Ringleader, Mike Cunningham, last up. Go ahead.
You know what? If this game was on an even playing field, I would have taken Brooklyn. But you know what? The Warriors of the Splash Brothers are back in business. And I'll be a fool to not go to bet against Klay Thompson and Curry. But I got the Warriors on the money line against the Nets at Arco Arena. And the way how Klay's been playing, there's no chance. They lose.
So that's your bet? You're not doing a parlay?
No, one game parlay.
Okay, so that's your only bet, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think Michael's realizing that he's been trying so many parlays like lately, and he's been losing all of them. So he's gonna roll it back a little there. But I like it, Michael.
Because I've been getting screwed. Every time my parlay wins, another one loses.
Yeah, let me check right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. Michael Cunningham has lost 11 out of his last 12 bets. He's lost 11 out of his last 12 bets. So, Michael, I like this, though. You're going simple. You're playing it safe and try to get back in the win column here. Michael, just so you know, I like it.
Thank you, brother.
All right, guys. That's all for our bets, and that's all for this episode. Before we close out the show, I did want to give a very, very special shout out to Kelly Whiteside, who was a professor of mine at Montclair State University. You guys know what happened. You guys know what happened, right? She is now an official member of the college football committee. So she's going to be helping decide the rankings, and she's going to play a major factor in deciding who goes to the college football playoffs. So Kelly Whiteside, if you're listening, congratulations to you. Hopefully I'll be able to see you someday and just I'm sure this is a really great honor for you, and I'm really happy for you. I really enjoyed my time in your classes, and hope to see you soon, and best of luck. I know the committee is getting a good one. But guys, do you have any final thoughts, or does everyone just want to go to bed?
I just want to chill with my lady, so hurry up.
Okay, I understand there. That's it. This is episode 69 of the Get Up podcast. Yours truly, and Grassani, David Cunningham, Alex Reich, and Marcellus Murdock. If you like what you heard, leave a like and follow or subscribe to the podcast. Also, if you want to join the conversation, drop a comment or a review, and we may feature it in a future episode. Remember, my friends, those who reduce just fantasy. If you can imagine a world, believe in it, and dive in. See you next time, and until then, stay lit.
And we're out.